All right, hey, Day Trader Rockstar here with you for Day Trading Radio and an S&P update going into the midweek here, going into September 15th, and a great day on the site today, DayTradingRadio.com. We had a good day. Trading some individual stocks and feeling that the upside in the S&P was still there, so continue to feel comfortable in some longs here. We saw a late day sell-off here, just a little late day sell-off, and this leads us into some interesting levels that I want to bring up here. There is a couple different trend lines. This downward trend line, which we recently broke here, really confirmed that break. Stochastics really pushing up here, getting really embedded, and seeing that upside strength and feeling that upside strength each day in the market refusing to lose here. So looking out here, and we get rid of this trend line and put some of the lines in here, and what really jumps out at me is this little rising channel here. So this line up here, coming into around 1141 to 1145 area, and this is above the recent resistance area right here, 1130 to 1131 area. So that 1131 area, everyone's looking at that level as to trigger some buy stops, and yeah, that could easily give us that move up to that 1140 area, and at that point, I want to definitely consider really protecting myself to the downside, either by taking a majority of my longs off the table, or at least continuing to hedge a position up at this level. And so again, that's laying ahead. But today again, market is now in a little area where people are getting concerned. We're hanging up here. There's no reason why we can't sometimes just drop off and not tag that trend line up here, and yet we hold this recent resistance. So this area right here, 1130, big area. Do feel we could get through that, but now let's zoom in here a little and look at why there's probably a good chance of a pullback anyway, in either case, up here or here. There's two gaps down here, three potential gaps. I have to do all my back end research here. Gap back here. I'm just going to eyeball the gaps right now with this thing, the 1110 area, and then down here again there's another little gap in that 1100 area, 1101 area. And the S&P index historically comes back and fills the gaps, and that's something. There's also some gaps underneath that down here and stuff, but those gaps alone being unfilled leads me to believe that down the road there's going to be a pullback. Now I've seen gaps have been left here and the market really rally and then come back and fill the gap. I've seen gaps fill after 6 months. So again, not something that you want to mark in stone, but as I do like the pullback potential. The pullback potential would actually fill some of these gaps, bring us back to the 20-period moving average. Set us up for a continued move. We're still in this rising pattern, so there's a lot of things that could happen here, and I think we just have to pay attention to it. This is where the 60-minute chart comes into play, and the 15-minute chart. Now the 60-minute chart, let's go to the 15. Let's give you a better chart here. You can see the 15-minute chart to still use the same stochastics, full stochastics, 1433. Yet, when the trend is intact and we come down to it, oversold stochastic holding another indicator, oversold stochastic holding an indicator, right here. Once we get down to that 20 level, you're looking for that bounce, especially on the 15, which is gives you those true signals. And in that case, we just bounce each time. So we're actually turning over here, and again, this looks a little bearish going into the close. So again, tomorrow's left up, but that's what we want to really pay attention to. We want to see if we right ourselves here. If we continue to move up here, we'll continue to track the market using the stochastics. On the 60-minute chart, you're going to start to see that roll over too. So again, looking like we're starting to roll over here, and that's a concern. The 20-period moving average underneath it. So there's a lot of lines to watch here, and we're going to continue to watch that. And going out on that 5-minute chart, and you can actually see that the 5-minute chart on the stochastics are just about oversold here on a shorter term basis. So I mean, even if we get a gap down here, which we should get a little gap down tomorrow, if the futures sold there after the close, they sold down another 4 points here after the close about. So that would give us a little further push down here on the S&P, but that's again all tomorrow, and there's all kinds of news that come out before that. But again, the 200-period moving average here on the 5-minute chart, a very interesting level to watch. And that, again, of course, lines right up there with that 1119 area. So 1119, 1120. That's maybe if we move down to that level tomorrow, we end up opening up around that level. It'd be interesting. See how that holds up. So that's it. Just wanted to update a little more caution going into the week on the overall markets. It's still a stock picker's market. I'm actually going to go over a few stocks right now. I'll bring that up on the second part of this video. That are some great trades today. All right, hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar, and I am back here with just a couple trade reviews. These are the last 2 days of actually this is Monday and Tuesday of this week. So going back and going through some of the setups that we went into this week here. DirecTV, DTV here, we actually took that off yesterday, 300 shares for a little profit. Continue to move up today. I just want to do some updates, and because these were really good patterns, I'm just sometimes go back and see exactly if you would have held on. What the outcome is. So just reviewing these DirecTV, and again continue to show strength here. The stochastics just following the market up. A very good stock here. DTV, not in it anymore. We started a position in the kick-ass trade of the week here, ITRI, and again yesterday had a nice little push. Today we had a little pullback, and a nice reversal candlesticks actually started forming. We're still holding the 20-50 period moving average. Is one of my best bets. Again, the kick-ass is from the 10 for 1,000 watch list, but one of the best of the best. And I really like this setup. I like the trend line retracement, the consolidation here above the 20, stochastics flattening out. Target $62 on this. And let's look at on the 60-minute chart. You're going to really start to see. Well, actually, I think it was the 5-minute chart here. 5-minute chart, nice inverted head, slanted inverted head and shoulders pattern holding the. So looking at this tomorrow, seeing how this 200 period moving average is on the right shoulder here on the 5-minute chart. We'll see what happens in the morning. See how much if this stock actually holds some strength. I want to see the divergences here start to take place, because if we could start to hold this and push back above $60, I want to definitely add to my position here. So this one definitely still looks really good, and liking that one too. Then we went on to sell Google at what do we get Google at? We got 8 points out of Google, and we sold it up at 480, and it actually closed at 482. So I feel good about that. Again, the stochastics getting a little overbought here. Rovi, yesterday Rovi was back and forth, ended up taking it off for a small profit, and then at the end of the day got back into ROVI. All right, and the reason was yesterday, if you remember yesterday during the room, we were looking at some volume coming out at the end of the day, and I said, oh, volume alert, and I just jumped in. So that was from yesterday. I jumped in here, and then today, or actually going into the end of the day, it kind of sold off. But today we actually had a nice rally and was showing some good relative strength here, and added, actually alerted to the position here how good it was ready to go here, and actually it started taking off. And then just took it off the table up $1.26. So just didn't even hesitate to taking profits into this. That's all I wanted to do, is get out of it with a nice profit. So, and it did come all the way back. So I'm not even going to look at this one tomorrow. But there is still some other good setups setting up in the market. Again, we sold the last of the DGX, and we talked about that. Just getting a little pullback. I don't think a major pullback is due on this one. This was last week's kick-ass trade of the week, and again, you can see where we pushed up right up against the 50 period moving average, overbought stochastics, starting to consolidate. I still like it here. There's potential for a little pullback, but overall this looks like a good longer term spot. That was DGX, and then again bought some more Eastman Kodak. The price smart TPSMT is setting up ready to go tomorrow. We have 2 big days of volume. Any type of upside day tomorrow, upside bias in the markets. I think this one's just going to make that expansion break and see how far we could get on this. We'll probably end up taking profits into PSMT tomorrow, and hopefully that takes us to our target too, PSMT. And again, the Rovi, we took that off today. Added some more late fish today. Then put an alert on Clorox, Colgate Palmolive. I always call it Clorox, but again, a good quality stock, a little oversold. We have a gap up here in stochastics. We're starting to roll up here. this is the 5-minute chart. We actually put the alert in here back right at the open here, and we got a breakout and moved all the way up. The last day selling with the market, last hour selling, last half an hour selling. But 60-minute chart, still looking at that 76 area. Oh, yeah, 76 area where that 200 period moving average is. They kind of drag us up there, and possibly much higher. So this still looks good on the Clorox. Closed higher today. Took the Corning off, took the Dell off, sold the Rovi, and then a couple trades on the ES today. And actually, here's a Rovi. This is where we actually got into Rovi. I remember watching this intraday, and I know a lot of people did pretty good. We jumped in here, and I was like, watch for the volume here, and the volume spike. No, actually, I alerted you of that volume spike right here. There was a little volume spike here. It was definitely, and I said, well, Rovi has some volume. Pay attention to this, then it looks like it's ready to go. And from that point on, it actually pulled back a little, then started grinding up, and then boom, the volume came in. Explosive volume. Sold right into that volume. Didn't, you feel that tinge sometimes, like, oh, what happens if this one's getting bought out too? For $8 more, you feel like a fool getting out. But you know what? That's not how we play the game. So got out at 45.67. Went up to like 45.80, but I thought we did pretty good on that. And then it came all the way back down. So nothing. And the ENTR here, added that position today. ENTR. This is great setup. And we picked that one right off of the combination of the 200 period moving average on the 5-minute chart. A nice little pullback overall in the markets. And from that point on, it ran to $10. And it ran, and it ran, and it ran. And another good pick there. And again, a little pullback today on that. At the end of the day, not much to worry about. It still looks great here. Let's take a look at it on the bigger chart. Being a TR. And again, you can see the gap up, the retrace, nice volume. Love to see that follow through. I think we're going to get that follow through. Maybe another day of consolidation, a little choppiness here, but I think down the road we're going to be ramping up here on ENTR. So another good watch list pick. So that's about it. That's all I'm going to go over today. There's a couple good setups on momentum for tomorrow, looking at Diamond Offshore, PSMT, and some other ones. And again, on the air every day from 8:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time to 4 o'clock at night, bringing these setups live, trading them live. So hope to see you in the on the site, DayTraderRadio.com.